NBA rules you didn't know exist. In today's video, we'll dive into the thrilling world of the NBA and explore some rules that even the loyal followers might not be familiar with. These rules further complicate the game with their odd strategies and unexpected interpretations. Let's begin with our list of NBA rules you didn't know without any further ado. Rule number 1, the Hack-a-Shaq strategy. First on our list is the Hack-a-Shaq tactic, is one peculiar NBA rule. Teams use this tactic to purposefully foul bad free throw shooters, forcing them to attempt and possibly miss free throws. Shaquille O'Neal's career saw a significant increase in its popularity, thus the name. You might not be aware, though, that the NBA has made some adjustments to discourage this tactic. The Hack-a-Shaq tactic involves purposefully fouling a player who shoots poorly from the line of scrimmage, typically one with a low free throw percentage. The opposing team intends to foul that player in order to alter the game's momentum, slow down the offense, and improve their chances of regaining possession. When the technique was employed against Shaquille O'Neal, a powerful center known for his struggles at the free throw line, as soon as they got the ball, teams would purposefully foul the unlucky free throw shooter without making an effort to play defense. This resulted in a protracted and frequently boring series of fouls and free throw attempts. The NBA changed some of the rules to prevent excessive intentional fouls and guarantee a more thrilling and continuous flow of play in order to address this problem. The Hack-a-Shaq rule, which is also referred to as the away from the play foul rule, is one of the significant changes made by the NBA. The fouled team receives one free throw and keeps possession of the ball if a team intentionally fouls a player away from the ball in the final 2 minutes of regulation time or in overtime. This discourages teams from using excessive intentional fouls solely to stop the clock and disrupt the game's rhythm. This rule's introduction aimed to strike a balance between preserving fairness and preventing the overuse of fouling techniques. Although the Hack-a-Shaq tactic is still effective, teams must now carefully consider when and how they use intentional fouls to prevent handing their opponents easy points and possessions. Teams may use this strategy against any player who struggles to make free throws, especially if they have a big impact on the game. Teams try to gain a competitive advantage by strategically using intentional fouls to target their opponent's vulnerabilities. The Hack-a-Shaq tactic is still up for discussion among basketball fans, coaches, and players, despite the rule changes. While some contend that it interferes with the game's flow and violates the notions of fair play, others see it as a legitimate tactic within the confines of the sport's established rules. Whether you support the Hack-a-Shaq tactic or not, there is no denying that it is an intriguing aspect of NBA gameplay that brings controversy and a strategic component to the game. Rule number 2, the 8-second rule. Are you aware that the NBA has an 8-second rule? Teams only have 8 seconds after gaining possession to move the ball past the half-court line, just like in college basketball. If you don't, you commit a turnover, which gives the other team the ball. The 8-second rule prohibits teams from purposefully stalling or taking too long to bring the ball into the front court in order to promote a fast-paced and exciting game. It increases the sense of urgency and makes sure that teams must smoothly switch from defense to offense. Let's examine the 8-second rule's operation. A team has 8 seconds to cross the half-court line and set up their offense after gaining possession of the ball, typically through a defensive rebound, a steal, or an opponent's missed shot. When the team has complete control of the ball in the backcourt, which occurs when the player in possession's feet are both behind the half-court line, the 8-second countdown starts. The team must continue moving the ball past the half-court line within the allotted time after that. The 8-second rule does not restart if the ball is out of bounds or if play is stopped for any reason, such as a timeout or foul. Once play resumes, the team must advance the ball within the remaining time as the clock continues to run. An 8-second violation occurs when a team crosses the half-court line after the allotted 8 seconds have passed. From the spot of the violation, the opposing team is given possession of the ball. The 8-second rule is applicable during regular gameplay, as well as crucial times like the end of quarters or in overtime, which is worth mentioning. The 8-second rule not only gives the game a tactical element, but it also puts a team's ability to move the ball up the court quickly and set up their offense to the test. It penalizes teams that advance the ball slowly while rewarding those that do so quickly and efficiently. It's fascinating to watch teams strategize and execute their plays within the time limit, adding an extra layer of excitement to the game. Rule number 3, the restricted area. Have you ever considered the significance of the painted half circle beneath the basket? It is referred to as the restricted area. The restricted area is a marked arc on the floor where defenders are not allowed to take up position in an attempt to draw a charging foul. Even if contact occurs while a defender is inside the restricted area, no offensive foul will be assessed against them. The restricted area's function is to give offensive players who are advancing on goal additional protection. Defensemen are prevented from positioning themselves directly beneath the rim to draw charging fouls, which might deter aggressive aggressive and exciting plays close to the basket. The restricted area is shaped like a half circle and is situated in the key or paint area. The distance from the basket center to the arc's outer edge is 4 feet. Both of the defender's feet must be entirely inside the arc for them to be regarded as being in the restricted area. A charging foul may be assessed against an offensive player who is driving to the basket and makes contact with a defender who is outside the zone of restriction. The defender cannot draw a charging foul, regardless of the nature of the contact, if they are inside the restricted area. It's crucial to remember that the restricted area only applies when an offensive player is getting ready to make a layup, dunk, or shoot upward. The restricted area does not apply if the offensive player is passing the ball or has not begun their shooting motion. The game has changed significantly since the restricted area rule was implemented, especially when defenders try to take charges, as defenders are encouraged to contest shots without running the risk of drawing a charging foul. It has increased the emphasis on defensive positioning and increased the number of shots blocked close to the basket. Although the restricted area shields offensive players from some contact, it does not completely protect them. Even if there is contact, the defender can still block shots without fouling if they jump vertically and take up a legitimate guarding position outside the prohibited area. The position of the defender's feet in relation to the arc may occasionally be arbitrary, and the call may change depending on the official's assessment. The restricted area, however, has developed into a crucial component of the game in an effort to strike a balance between defending offensive players and enabling defenders to block shots close to the basket. It gives the game an additional layer of complexity and guarantees that offensive players have the chance to finish strong at the rim without worrying about charging fouls all the time. Rule number 4, the away from the play foul rule. Last on our list is the away from the play foul rule in the NBA is another intriguing regulation. This regulation was put in place to stop teams from purposefully fouling the ball off in the final 2 minutes of a game to stop the clock. In the final 2 minutes of a game, if a team commits an away from the play foul, the fouled team is given 1 free throw and is still in possession of the ball. When an away from the play foul happens, the player committing the foul is charged with a personal foul, and their team accumulates a team foul. As a result, the offended team is awarded 1 free throw attempt, which can be taken by any player on the court at the time of the foul. If the foul takes place during a live ball situation, the offended team gains possession on the sideline nearest to the interruption point. On the other hand, if the foul occurs before the release on a throw-in, the offended team retains possession at the original throw-in spot. Now, things get more intense when a flagrant or punching foul comes into play. In such cases, the free throw shooter gets 2 attempts, and the team can choose any player to take those shots. The injured player may return to the game afterward. However, if the injured player cannot attempt the free throws due to an ejection or injury from a flagrant foul, penalty, or punching foul, the coach can select a substitute or any of the remaining 4 players to take the free throws. Again, the injured player has a chance to return to the game. Fans of basketball, there you have it. We looked at some NBA regulations you might not be familiar with. Understanding these rules is essential for players, coaches, and fans alike. They can significantly impact the flow and outcome of a basketball game. The NBA continuously adapts to keep the game fair and exciting, from the Hack-a-Shaq strategy to the 8-second rule, the restricted area, and the away from the play foul rule. Remember to look out for these unstated rules the next time you watch an NBA game. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any future basketball insights. Until next time, keep ballin'.